All right, everyone. We are back with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Joel, your chief host of the show. Joining me, as always, is none other than my co-host Noble.
It's always fun to watch people shoot themselves in the foot.
More importantly, it seems to be a commonly reoccurring thing that we've been seeing the past goodness knows how many years. It's
That's for sure.
it's regrettable that it has to happen, but sometimes it just is what that is. And joining us also on the show, we have Avira.
Hello, guys. Happy Friday. Hope everyone's having a groovy day. I'm looking forward to the weekend and all the stuff we have going on this past week. So, yeah, otherwise, things have been going okay for me. I think last time we spoke, I did mention at the end that my plants were doing not so well. So I did have some survivors, and they are prospering. One of them just started to grow some purple flowers. And the other two that I saved, they're actually sprouting a little bit, well, better now. So that's one good thing we have to look forward to. The thing is, this season's been weird. Like, it was freezing, and then it went like the 60s and 70s, and then today was like 95. So the weather's been a whack. But aside from that, I'm looking forward to a good show.
Mm-hmm.
My poor plants.
Crazy, isn't it though? Like summer is like seems to be like the season where it just all wilts out and whatever, and now it's
Yeah, but it's already like the middle of June. I mean, what happened? And I planted these things back in like late March, early April, and now they're after most of them died. Some of them are still barely surviving. So it's like,
and only a few of
okay,
them have started, really blooming. At least, it's something.
yeah, barely, but something. That's right. Got to be hopeful.
Yeah, at least. You're right though. So, on the very similar note, though, we are on. Let me remind you again. We are on the second week of what is now dubbed by Florida Faith and Family Month.
Okay, I like that. Faith and Family Month, very good.
To honor the biblical family unit.
Okay, so what's Florida doing about this? Do you want me to read the article, or?
Oh no, it's all good. So it is a gesture to emphasize the importance of the biblical family unit and the role that fathers play in the social well-being of their children.
Yeah, well, that's important.
I mean, of course, going side by side with Tennessee, that stated that this is nuclear family month.
Yeah, that's interesting. See, Tennessee did something similar.
Yeah,
And
Tennessee started the thing, and then now all the other other states have decided to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, well, in addition to that, we've heard not only just the nuclear family month from both Tennessee and Florida, but I don't know if this is like a state thing, but on social media at least, there's a big push towards Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Mm-hmm.
So on top of that, all of these things are tremendously better than celebrating sexual deviancy, in my opinion.
Yes, 100%.
And I feel like it has a much more positive response.
Avira, you should probably include that. Unfortunately, it would involve children in public places.
What do you mean, children?
I know what he's trying to get
places?
at. Parades.
Yep.
Oh, well, a wholesome parade that celebrates family. I don't see any reason why kids shouldn't be in that. When it comes to the LGBT stuff, they should not be there. No way.
Yes, that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah, well, that's some celebration of degeneracy right there. I saw a video like the other day about at a pride parade they had a ring toss with kids, like they must have been like 6 or 7 year old, and they were flying rings on rainbow dildos, trying to get the rings on. and the kids were like clapping and cheering, seeing adults do this dressed up in fetish gear. The adults were. That's the kind of common stuff you see at these pride parades. I imagine, though, at the nuclear family, and if they were to have some kind of a parade or rally or something, it wouldn't be so sexually deviant. I just have a hunch about that. I'm curious, though. What did the article say? Like from Florida, like how are they going about doing this?
It's the thing that they've announced is really what it is.
Okay, so
And
like just an
it's
announcement.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
And it's more
Well,
of a doubly more of a good thing too, considering that America has You've probably also heard that America's had this whole rededication on the 250th anniversary of the nation.
well, it is our 250th birthday from when we broke off from the British Empire. What would be different about us celebrating something like the 4th of July?
I mean, of course, it's more than that, but it's a rededication as well to the whole founding principle: one nation under God.
Mm-hmm. Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's important. Now, the whole idea of celebrating the nuclear family and that being very important to our American and Judeo-Christian values, I mean, that just makes sense from the get-go, because of course that's what America was kind of founded on, those principles and other similar values.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely saying that the time is right for such a thing too, for the nation, for the nation to go through, and yet another. We're talking about another 250 years, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see. Given the trajectory of things, it's hard to say.
We'll get there.
Well, just think you evacuated a country early, which would be a good thing.
What? What, you evacuated the country?
Well, yeah, I mean, you've seen England's current state of affairs.
Oh yeah, England's burning. Oh boy. But rightfully so, because especially in England, people are fed up with this woke nonsense. The invasion, the immigration destroying their culture, their race, their heritage, everything. It's bad over there, and people feel so like powerless to stop this invasion.
Well, don't forget, you can also get charged for thought crimes.
I know. Yeah, it's like 1984 over there. You make a post.
It's more if you silently pray, you can be arrested.
Okay, no, it can't be that bad.
Yeah,
what do you mean silently pray?
Yeah, no, this woman was silently praying outside of an abortion clinic, didn't say anything, just bowed her head. Police came up, asked her what she was doing, and then they arrested her when they found out.
Oh, yes. Didn't we mention this in one of our previous episodes?
Potentially.
I think so.
I think that came up.
But...
Yeah, that sounds familiar. But, yikes. So they don't have freedom of religion in the UK. They don't.
No, they're trying to get rid of a certain only one. I wonder why. The one religion that founded the entire country.
That's what's mind-blowing to me. They're trying to erase their own culture, their own heritage.
Yeah.
What England was really based on. England is a white Anglo-Saxon nation. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Well, technically, Anglo-Saxons invaded.
Well, they became the Anglo-Saxons. Whatever. It's a Caucasian white people country. Okay, we can all agree on that. Who values Christianity? Okay. The thing is, it's become so degraded and destroyed by invaders. Britain doesn't look like Britain anymore. London, churches have been torn down in place of mosques. A lot of towns are more than 50% quote unquote minorities. It's really have been destructive to England's culture, and the people that live there, God bless them. They are sick and tired and probably devastated seeing their once great nation being destroyed by third worlders. I would be too. Like, it's heartbreaking.
Right, and this has been sort of it's been the whole past week. It's just been sort of things, and now like the fire is really rising due to recent events and I guess the timing of it just pretty much like was a really big catalyst to how intense it would really become.
You're right, Jolt. And the thing you said about what was it? The protests were sparked by some immigrant radical Muslim guy.
Hold on.
I don't think about it's not so much about the thing, but it was just an asylum seeker who
Okay, can I word it? Because let's not beat around the bush. So someone decided it would be a fantastic idea to practice what they do in their own country by trying to behead somebody. And in England, that's generally not considered a reasonable action to take. So burn the country down. Not exactly the way I do things, but whatever.
Well, in their culture, that's what they do. They see that as justice. Beheading for blasphemy or anything
because
else.
Whose justice is it anyway?
Well, Islamic justice, of course. If you don't agree with them, then you're an infidel and you have to die.
Right.
That's literally what they're importing into England. And the Englishmen are just supposed to accept that. They're supposed to be like, okay, all these invaders to our country, now we have no-go zones where Islam has taken over entire portions of our city, and that's just their culture now. Nah, man, that's not acceptable whatsoever.
I mean, second of all, like the other thing I do want to add to that, of course, is like there's the timing of this being a big catalyst because England had just gotten off another recent protest that wasn't quite as fiery, but again has something to do with like immigrants murdering the native population of England.
Yeah, which unfortunately they are doing through the stabbings, the rapes, other murders.
Right, and now I guess it's now it's going to get to the point where they're really going to be at a big flashpoint. But of all the things and priorities that they are trying to say, England is more focusing on doing other stuff by replacing the banknotes. Remember we talked about that one while ago?
Yes. Yep.
So they've decided,
one
and we all know that it's I'm going to talk about this too because we last time we talked about how they actually conceptually chose to replace their iconic British figures with the wildlife and stuff of of Britain, like replacing Winston Churchill with a hedgehog. Now I think the update I do have a bit more to say about that because more has emerged. So let's get to this. Public has asked to help select UK wildlife to appear on the new banknote series.
Personally, I wouldn't want the king on there.
Right, exactly. I don't. So the public are being asked to give their views on a selection of wildlife native to the UK that will appear on the next series of banknotes in a consultation. Recently, working with a panel of wildlife experts from across the UK, the Bank of England has produced a short list of animals that could become the central image on the 5, 10, 20, and 50-pound notes.
A plague rat, please.
Well, that is part of culture, I guess. Yikes. Dark but true.
Right. So on the short list, we have split into 3 categories: mammals, birds, and then amphibians, insects, and fish.
Okay.
And on the list, we have, mammals: bottlenose dolphin, brown hare, European hedgehog, gray seal, pine marten, and the furry's favorite, red fox.
Yes. The
Could
red
you
fox and
imagine?
pine marten make the most sense.
Could you imagine how many people would start getting British currency if it included a red fox?
Oh, yeah. They'd at least keep one for collectible sake, and then of course they'd have the they do it just because, ooh, shiny fox. I think I know a certain couple of people who would do exactly just that.
I really hope it would be the £50 note.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one like, I really can't afford to not spend this, but I really don't want to spend it. Yeah, I totally get that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what do we have for the birds? We have the Atlantic puffin, the barn owl, the common kingfisher, the Eurasian curlew, the great spotted woodpecker, and white-tailed eagle. Okay. And I guess for amphibians, insects, and fish. Wait, insects, really? We have the Atlantic salmon, the basking shark, the buff-tailed bumblebee, the common frog. Okay, no, we don't want that on there. The emperor dragonfly, and the marsh fritillary butterfly. Nah, I think the only ones that make sense of this are the pine marten, the red fox,
The
great
hedgehog.
spotted woodpecker, a European hedgehog, yes, and maybe the emperor dragonfly. The thing is, these things have to be native and iconic to England.
You know, I'm kind of disappointed somewhat with the shortlisted picks because I think, honestly, Britain has some great animal choices that were kind of snubbed over and have appeared in so many that have inspired so many of Britain's stories and folklore and all that. To be honest, I was expecting something like the European badger, Meles meles, to at least be on the list among a whole series of other animals. And I'm just so upset I don't get my squirrel box.
I know. Oh, yeah, I know, right? Oh, that's a good point. The missed opportunity for the squirrels. But the red fox and pine marten make especially make sense, but even the brown hare, because back then those were things that people would hunt for sport, you know? And I think there were some birds that were on that list as well. So something like that that's part of like the hunting culture in 1800s or so, early 1900s Britain, that would make more sense if they.
Vera, you still there?
Probably will. So, essentially, what do you think about this, Noah? What would you if you've been surveyed and you're allowed to pick two examples from each category as according to
Red
the
fox
article?
and grey seal.
Sounds good.
The red fox and grey seal, yeah, that'd be my choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd probably take either red fox and pine marten. Just to be the new face of the furry box.
Hello?
There you
go. Oh, now you can hear me. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you just had a bit of an crash out.
Yeah, Jesus. Did you hear what I said about why it would make more sense to have some animals on bills rather than not? When it comes to like the hunting culture of England, like the pine marten.
Yeah, the significance stuff like that. And all of that. That's why, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Like historically significant, that would make more sense.
Now, the other thing, oh goodness, yeah, and good luck coming here, her shackle for reptiles, Keir Starmer. No. If you have to see his ugly mug on a banknote of the British pound, imagine if his legacy was basically being the person to have ruined the damn country. It would be funny though, but yeah, if we in the future where the United Kingdom basically goes to complete shit. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they did keep Elizabeth II on their currency for the longest time up until she passed away, despite the fact that the sun never sets on the British Empire, and under her reign, the British Empire was basically dismantled. So that's kind of a not so great legacy.
Right, and here in the bank in some of the banknotes that we still have the mug of Queen Elizabeth II.
Yeah.
Even now in Australia, you still have like recent notes. Now they haven't changed it.
Well, the coinage, for instance, Avira, the coinage has the king's mugshot on it now after her passing. Okay. So yeah.
Yeah, but
that's why I'm surprised the bills haven't changed.
In my possession right now have the mugshot of Queen Elizabeth II.
Yeah, the thing is, the banknotes take a while to circulate, so they're going to have to make a new design for the him.
That's what I was going to ask. Like the banknote you have right now of the Queen still being on there, did that come out before or after she's passed?
Before. The banknotes came out in like the late 2010s.
Okay. But the date on it is before she passed, right?
Well, it's more changing the
serialized, whatever. But yeah, if I knew how to read the bank serial number, I'd probably know. But anyway, but at least that's the legacy of Queen Elizabeth, and King Charles hasn't exactly got one or much, if anything, at that.
Nah, well, granted, he also did enter into this position on the throne at a very late age because the Queen lived to be quite... she lived a long life. Let's say that. I think she was, 98, 97, something like that?
Anywho, my curiosity goes back to Faith and Family Month.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
The ideal, the ideal thing that should be the ideal standard that should be for June and every other month, if I dare say so myself. Because because after all, like once this thing is start up, I want the the states to really just follow on and declare that June be the month for the family.
Right. Either the month for celebration of the nuclear family and traditional values, or Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. But that's also been a thing floating around. I think both could be fine. Like maybe a week later, from I don't know, June 10th to July 10th could be Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Then from June 1st to whenever it could be the nuclear family. It kind of overlaps, and that would make a lot of sense too.
This sort of thing, and and it's not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, well, the whole gay pride thing is very exclusive to those of us who are not celebrating degeneracy and sex in the open and who you sleep with. No one needs to celebrate that, okay? The gays are not oppressed in Western civilization. Maybe in Muslim countries they are, but not here. So I don't know what rights they think that they still don't have, that there aren't any.
Avira, to be fair, what was it, like the 80s or the 60s when things changed?
Yeah, roundabout. And then now
it's not the 80s or 60s anymore.
And now it's not
anymore. Yeah, it's like 60 years later.
Now, I'll be honest, it's really fascinating to watch people turn around and pretend that by being, non-straight, they're going to be dragged out into the street and beaten. It's really fascinating that.
Yeah. Now,
they literally believe this. They literally think they live in a Nazi fascist country. They're like, you're stealing our rights, and I can't wear a dress in public, and blah blah blah. It's like, no, you're not oppressed, bro. You're just confused.
Now, we've got another thing too. That there was something that I kept trying to remember, and I kept forgetting it. And this was the thing. Thanks for the live comment. June was the month of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, long before Pride.
Yeah, and you know why that makes a lot of sense to me? Is because the whole concept of the rainbow, we've talked about this before. It was something that God sent to Noah after the flood, promising he's never going to kill people ever again like that. and the rainbow was a symbol of Christianity. The LGBTQIAWXYZ LMNOP alphabet people, they took that symbol and reappropriated it to try to make it part of their culture in an attempt to mock Christianity and mock God. That's not even like my own theory. Like, a lot of people have said this, and that's pretty much what the goal was. Kind of like how they reappropriated the word queer.
With us coming back to the forefront in the United States with the rededication 250 and this, well, I guess now the veil is going to be parted and things should hopefully return, give or take, in due time to the way it should be, and that's probably my biggest hope right now. So,
and I think you're right to hope that.
Yeah. And so that said, I would say we'll go and move on to the next set of items. Let's just see, to see what we've got. So I think you all know that in the past couple of the past week or so, following the last episode, a big whole slew of games have just been announced. And I almost dare say it's.
Does it start with P?
Or S?
Well, no, we've got an update for that one. We'll get to that in a second. But more than that, though, it almost seems like where I was looking at it, like this is the year of the furry indies. I had counted and kept track of how many big, like, in-your-face furry games. Well, not all of them in your face, because probably the developers aren't exactly as furry as we are, but you get the point.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I kept
but furry adjacent.
Yes, furry adjacent. Furry inspired. You get the point. And so I kept count of a good couple of them, and oh my goodness, how just the number of games that had been announced was crazy. Got games, that had more coming out, and then games that had come out, in our own backyard too. Like, holy crap.
Yeah. So, what do we got for that list?
Yeah, so we have. Oh, there's quite a few actually. I just have to get. We have what's it called? We have a game called Everbloom that is going to be a big furry favorite because the big image stars a what do you know it? A red fox.
Okay. So, you got my attention so far. Any broad plot about that, or?
No. It's basic. It's the
okay, there
characters. You go. Yeah.
Oh, cute. Okay.
Doggo tilling the land, cutting trees. Very stylized too.
Yeah. It almost looks like more character-esque, like with the giant head and tail, and kind of that cartoony sort of farmland aesthetic.
Exactly.
Is this one of those farming simulators?
In a way, it is.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's like the farming sim genre is like the thing that's been trending the last 5-10 years, and not just because of Animal Crossing and that. Like, look at all this. Look at what you got right here. You get cat, you get fox, you get tiger, you get bear, you get otter, and you get frog.
Okay.
And a whole lot of others.
Wow. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. I think it gives people a lot of opportunity to choose what relates to them the most. Mm-hmm. So having a little bit over a dozen or so different species to choose from, yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one. This one, the next one we've got on the list is Unqualified. It's a pun. Yes, and people from my backyard would know all about this.
Wait, what's it called? Unqual? Quoll?
Yes.
Is that like a koala bear kind of term? I don't know. Sorry.
Australia has a lot of like obscure animal, a lot of obscure species of animals that are, that people get fascinated with.
It's a small little cute mammal thing that you probably want to cuddle.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
All right.
So that's an interesting game that's giving some highlight to some obscure species.
Yeah, Australia's like full of them. It's quite a lot too, you know.
So is this like a point and click kind of adventure?
Yeah, it's that's basically wrapped up around a murder mystery. I just want to highlight this missed opportunity that they have really, really taken of a kangaroo, pushing a baby on a stroller instead of in a pouch. That is just such a missed opportunity. I could not help, smacking my face against.
Yeah, that is a little weird. Like, why wouldn't little Joey be in mommy's pouch as she's hopping along? Like a stroller. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Characterize the animals like they're going to be more animalistic.
Yeah, like you use their basic characteristics. Okay.
You mean make use of their body parts?
Well, yeah, like the pouch is pretty significant for a kangaroo, I would imagine.
You said it so wrong.
I didn't mean it to come out that way. No, you know what I mean? Like the pouch and the baby and okay. If you saw a mother kangaroo and she was sentient and can talk, she's not going to be pushing little baby Joey in a stroller. She's going to be hopping around with Joey sticking his head out of the pouch. Like, okay, that's just how it kind of works. I guess they went a little bit too anthropomorphic here. Okay, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is, but nonetheless, it's quite a thing too. Like, we've got games coming out here because the studios here, Few Dragons and all that are they're located right here too in Australia. So, game by us for us,
Well, there's
good old
some
land of nope
sentiment there.
Mm-hmm.
What are like people's responses to this? Have you seen any posts or comments about people's reactions?
It's interesting. Like, you got with the wide range of games that are being available, one would think furries would be so excited over all of this, the big wave of games coming out.
Yeah. So is there like not much hype about this, or no one's talking about it?
No. Like a lot of these are like independent games, like things like from studios nobody's really heard of, and now they're basically showing off the goods.
Okay. But from the few people that have seen it, I'm sure their reactions are,
yeah,
I would assume a little bit mixed, but overall positive.
A lot of excitement. Like, people got excited for Everbloom, and because it's a cute farming game, and what have you. Now this though, if you want like Furry the game in its current absolute state, oh boy, do I have a game for you.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
Every furry is going to want this. You bet they're going to get this game that was just announced, Project Sentinel: Zero Tolerance.
Okay, wait, what's it called?
And the first second of this trailer, XXX, guns, alcohol, and electronics.
I love how electronics is like mentioned in in their introduction there. Okay. So what's this one about?
Okay, yeah. So it looks like it's a 2D, a 2D shooter where you basically play, it seems like, you play as a guy in a like an a power suit of sorts. Well, a girl in a power suit. I mean, look, just look.
Yeah. Well,
the 2D designs are just there. They're pretty radical and pretty out there. You would think that some furry had drawn this.
Yeah, I would, and I don't think that we're wrong to assume that. I mean, look at the character design. That looks like furry art for sure.
Right, like the the exaggerated features and all of that. 100%. Like you know for sure 100% the furry artist is in the team.
Yes, I do. That's a fact.
Oh, dude. And furries are basically behind this plot. Like you look at this image and all of that. Vixen's nightclub, VIP lounge.
That angle, the hips, and the confident little smirk there. Yeah, that's a message. Really cool art too. Like they did a good job with this.
Right. And of course, like it goes without saying, you get like these, for sure it's furry artists because it's the sexy girls, the big proportions, and how beefy the guys are, 100%. I just think the funniest, most ironic thing about this is because you're basically some sort of like a police or paramilitary or whatever with mentions of like cuffing them. It's a bit ironic because it comes at odds with what some furries would believe. It seems to be like you're bringing stability to a city, and furries are largely anti-police. Like, what the heck gives?
Well, I don't know if that's the case, because remember Zootopia was very much pro-police. I mean, that's the whole storyline of the first movie, and a lot of furries like gooned over that. I didn't mean to say that, but that was like a really good movie.
I think you went there. You went there. It's too
crap.
It's
no,
too
okay. No, crap. No, I mean like it made a lot of people like the whole crap. Anyways, the game itself has a good idea behind it. I don't like the fact that it got all political when it's coming to, furries are now ACAB. Like, that's not true. Sure, there's some loud radical voices out there, but I think most of us are just normal people that want to dress up as animals for fun. So we're not really normal, but in other ways we are. Just disregard that last comment.
Right. In other words, this game basically just wears the whole furry thing on its sleeve straight up, including all the all the gritty stuff in that's in society these days.
Yeah, no shame there. I mean, if you're going to be open and honest about it, why not? Now, here's the question I have. Was this mostly furry bait, or is this more generated like for an audience, like a general audience? Like, do you think it was just for furries? Probably not, right?
Maybe not. Like that, there's got to be some sort of you've at least got to have some sort of appeal. Like I know, like niche appeal is one thing, but but to make a thing with to use certain design, to use animal characters as a design choice, of course, is another on its own.
I imagine they're thinking that furries would like this, but we also want to appeal to a wider audience. Noble, what do you think about that take? Am I wrong? Or?
No, I wouldn't say you're wrong. It is nice to see games coming out, though, that, let's just hopefully they're made properly and not the modern slop that we see with some of the bigger studios.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I think it's just so great now that, I mean, it's well known now that Furry has broken into the mainstream. Thus, now we're seeing a whole crop of games using animal characters as, in the world, in all of that, and as a design choice.
Well, this has always been a thing. Video games, ever since really from the beginning, using anthropomorphized characters has always been very popular. They're not human per se, but the human players can kind of project themselves onto the characters and maybe even identify with some characteristics of the animal characters. And that's kind of always like what made it fun. Yeah, I can choose your own persona / character. Yeah, like that's a big part of it.
But aside from that, though, furry games aside, I think there's one game that above all you were more excited than any of us could ever have been. That was just announced.
Oh, me specifically?
Yeah, you.
Is it my favorite dragon?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Oh my goodness, is it Spyro? It's Spyro. It's Spyro the Dragon.
Yes.
Oh boy. Yes.
And he's so bad.
I love my purple Spyro. You know, that was the first game I ever played, and that's what like introduced me to video games.
Hold on.
And
Avira, do you remember this?
Yes.
PlayStation.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the PlayStation 1, man. I had the PS1, the PS2, PS3. And I had the first trilogy of the original Spyro games, and then I went into PS2. But yeah, that was like the game that I grew up on.
And now it's
super cool seeing this new trailer.
Yeah, I'm actually more excited about the fact that Spyro is back and doing something, taking a big bold step and doing something new that they hadn't done for many, many years moving forward. And now it's because they said that it's time to actually let the Spyro unfurl his wings and fly for real.
That's it, man. I was just gonna say
Oh yeah. Here's the game.
Yeah, it was in the trailer.
No.
Because I remember at the end of the first game, he learned how to fly. It was by using portals and like power-ups and stuff.
Right, but now this time
he did fly.
It's for real. He's gonna soar for real, freely, unfettered, and all
and
that.
we just lost Avira. So, can you bring up an image of the new game?
Oh, of course. Let me just bring out the Steam page for it, and we shall get there.
Yay!
So just for you, we will. Okay. Oopsie. There we go. I think now we're just gonna bring up the page for it.
Sorry about that. Clicked the wrong thing. But yeah, getting back to Spyro and flying. This is definitely a big deal, considering the original trilogy, like the first three, it was all about mostly jumping and gliding and hovering.
And, in the first three games, Spyro had a limited scope where he could fly freely because of, during certain levels. You remember
well, the only levels he can go was, the speedways, where he had, unlimited flying. He could just jump up and kind of glide and go. That was cool. But you couldn't do that in normal levels because it was mostly a platform game.
On this trailer, this is the part where he's...
Here's my question. Why isn't they couldn't make this game like back in the day?
Right.
Instead of what they did. Because I have to admit, after the first three, it went really downhill.
Right. And then, the original publishers, Insomniac, pretty much just... At the time, they said they couldn't do, they struggled to see beyond how they could evolve Spyro after the third game.
You don't have to evolve.
You're right about that, Joel.
I mean, you can make them more mature,
but you kind of No, it's not the character.
But the gameplay. That's what they were really looking to try and push the boundary.
The thing is, they were worried that because Spyro didn't have hands, he couldn't control or hold things. That there were only so much they could do with a quadrupedal dragon. Granted, they could have made him be able to fly, but that would kind of detract from the platforming originality of the game. Because at first it was a platforming game. You had to solve puzzles by jumping and gliding. So that made sense. But you're right. There were other games that had dragons flying around. One thing I can think of is called Dragon Rage, where you played as Kale, and he was a dragon who would constantly be in the air and flying.
Right,
and then eventually, collect
as you
objects,
know,
stuff like that.
And then eventually we had other games too in that let you control dragons in that somewhat semi, but not completely directly. Using dragons
Right.
as mounts and what have you. Things like World of Warcraft, blah blah blah, and whole series of
and
other
there's
games.
That aspect too of as using them as mounts. There's definitely that aspect too. When it came to Spyro, though, you're playing as the hero. This is who your character is, the dragon. So he couldn't hold things per se, but you did still have an inventory of things you collected. Giving him the ability to actually fly, that does, I think, kind of detract from the whole platforming aspect of the original games. But it can also add an entirely new dynamic when it comes to being able to fly to new places and developing the game in aspects that work in junction with that. I think that'd be a lot cooler than what they did.
I'm really, really willing to wait to see what's up with that. 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm excited already. Now, but that aside, new games aside, I know we're excited for the new crop of games that are coming out, the furry ones and what have you. But I think a big one here that we've got to look at is this. I think I'm excited about this one, and Noble is too, because a certain thorn in Nintendo's side has
decided to grow,
and we have an update for the lawsuit too.
Oh, and you just gave it away.
Yeah, well, sorry for killing all the hype and suspense.
I have to admit, they made a really good trailer for the release.
They did.
So this is Nintendo versus Palworld, or what's going on here?
Yes, this is Nintendo versus Palworld. So what happened is Nintendo wanted to block Palworld. Now it faces a 0% chance and a measly $30,000 payout. And now in public records show that the case is practically wrapped up, and the best Nintendo can hope for is $30,000 chump change.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. Can we just go back to what exactly the problem was? So Nintendo lost their lawsuit to Palworld, and they have to pay $30,000?
All they're basically getting from the payout from Palworld is, $30,000, and there's no way that they're gonna basically they don't have any legal grounds to make Palworld bow down to its demands, like stopping Palworld in their tracks and what have you. So
Nintendo lost
they think they won. Like Nintendo thinks it's won, but it's only won what, $30,000.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. That's very sad. Yeah, our tens of millions of dollars worth company, we got $30,000. Yeah, we stuck it to them now, didn't we? Ouch.
Yeah, we tried to stop a burgeoning upstart from entering the market space, and now look at what's happened. So basically, like we said, the case is pretty much, all that over. What actually ended up happening is, Nintendo had to keep narrowing the scope of their lawsuit so that it only applied to old, outdated versions of Palworld. They could not touch the current iteration of the game, and certainly not the 1.0 release. Because as you know, Nintendo were basically trying to say they wanted to disable, they wanted to sue Palworld for certain features, and then Palworld basically had to patch the game to be legally distinct enough not to not to fall in violation of it.
Right. They had to be legally or creatively distant enough.
Yeah. So basically, like it says here, from the offset, Pocket Pair addressed Nintendo's claims of ownership over certain game mechanics, like the gliding of pals, throwing pals into battle, by simply changing them in subsequent versions of the game. Because of subsequent patches, Nintendo continued narrowing its own lawsuit, effectively boxing itself into a corner.
I see.
Yeah, so basically they tried to weaponize the whole we own the whole mechanic of throwing Pokeballs and all that stuff and gliding.
Yeah, but hold on a minute. Out of curiosity, isn't it like 10 years that you hold a patent for before other people can turn around and start making their own shit?
I feel like there's probably extensions you can do if there's something in development that you're working on and you have a legal team. You can probably extend the patent for several more years after that.
Yeah, but the thing
like
I absolutely
10 years seems it's not a fixed thing.
The thing I love is that Nintendo also used examples where, oh no, they didn't use examples, but a lot of things they were trying to get like a secure grip on is that other games had been doing it anyway. So it wasn't anything that unique or something that they could or should have had a patent over.
Exactly. We've spoken about this before. I think even similar to like Digimon or no, not Digimon, Beyblades, right? Like when they ripped their the spinny device and then creatures came out and battled each other. I mean, that's more or less kind of similar to Pokeballs. There's a lot of things that might be considered depending on like different franchises or adaptations.
Right. They tried, and I think Pokemon, like we said, and then Pokemon decided to go a step too far by trying to say they own the summoning mechanic. In which case, we all knew they would piss off, things like Final Fantasy and all that.
Yeah, even that exactly. Which is different, I think, enough where it's not like they're ripping it off and trying to steal from them.
But now, because of this, like the long and short of it was this: is that Palworld was basically like quick to react and quick on the draw. That they were able to agilely make the changes so that Nintendo didn't have a thing to react in good time. So they just like they said, they kept changing and changing and changing, and so so that the scope of the current iteration, they could only sue, Pokemon could only afford to sue an old iteration of Palworld that's since been patched out.
Yeah, pretty much.
So at the end of the day, you're right, though. Sorry for all this, but at the end of the day, Pokemon, this big multi-billion-dollar company, took a $40 billion loss or so on the lawsuit and only won $30,000.
Yeah, that's what you call winning, ladies and gentlemen. $40 million loss, but we got 30 grand back. Heyo, okay. Yeah, I consider that like a 0.01 return on investment. Ouch.
And now we have Palworld 1.0 coming out. They released a hell of a trailer, and it is happening next month in July.
Okay.
Yay, it's out of beta now. You can actually get the full game and hopefully no more horrible glitches.
Oh, but that's the fun part of Palworld. You don't even have the game yet, do you?
Nope. But
well, it's going to be released in July, right?
I did buy a Pokemon game that glitches out even worse.
Oh yeah, it'll be out next
perfect.
month. Sure,
there you go.
And now, look at what Palworld's done. They've set the ball rolling for new monster games and all of that. Anima wants into space. Temtem wants into the space. And now all I'm seeing is this: we have more cake to eat, and not just Pokemon. And I think people are happy for it now. Who didn't thought? Competition is actually good for the scene.
Yeah, that's a great takeaway to come from this. overall,
look, I'm sorry, but I'm going to root for a company that turns around and actually makes good Twitter posts that are funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think both customers would. Like, if they have a sense of humor about it, that just shows that they're confident about their product and that they know people are going to gravitate towards it and love it. So that's just more relatability right there.
Can we ram one more thing into the show before we go?
Sure, we've got time for that. Yeah, what's up?
Stargate.
Oh, whoa.
Right, so I think as a guess,
ram it into us.
Okay, hang on just a second. So apparently what I'm taking away from this is that Amazon Stargate has been effectively cancelled, and people are upset.
There you go.
There you go.
So this is the thing that really fascinates me, is that you have the cast and crew of the actual Stargate franchise having seen what has occurred with things like Lord of the Rings. Well, it didn't actually come out, but the Powerpuff Girls live action movie. That would have been horrible. Star Trek. Has there been any other franchises that have basically... Oh, yeah, Doctor Who. So, yeah, they've gone, well, okay, let's get the original guys back in. And Amazon's like, yeah, no, you're not giving us a broad appeal, so we're just going to cancel it.
They tend to do that a lot.
And I've seen clips of Michael Shank's interview, which is what is made note in the news article here. And yeah, he's... I really wish we could see him uncensored. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, personally, I'm pissed. I finding out it was only supposed to be like 6 episodes. Are you fucking kidding me? Give at least 10.
Yeah, well, 6 episodes. I mean, how long would they have been? Like half hour each? An hour each?
I think they're like an hour each or something.
Okay. Yeah, even telling a story like that, depending on how they write it, it could at least go for like 10. Maybe.
Oh, well.
I'm not super familiar with the story, but no, I get that dissatisfaction there.
I seriously hate to think what the actors are feeling. Well, majority of the actors are feeling when, you know, this basically sort of comes back up and is a possibility. I actually want to see David Hewlett's response.
I mean, honestly.
Well, I guess it would be hard to speculate, like how they're actually feeling.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird thing, like, you know, but I guess if something doesn't have that sort of they were just upset they didn't have mass appeal, like the way that, you know, the Rings of Power, you know, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, and whatever Amazon's been cooking up hasn't been working out, right?
I mean, there was also the whole charm thing was brought up.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I should clock in Mr. Ed as well when they attempted to do a reboot of that.
What, Mr. Ed the Talking Horse?
Yeah.
They're doing a reboot of that?
No, they tried to do a reboot of that in the 90s or the early 2000s, and it was horrible.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, like, that wouldn't work.
Bad. If you like, I could send it to you, and you can, your eyes can bleed.
Hell yeah. Oh, please, go for it. I have some anti-eye bleeding antidote, so I should be all right. I'm very curious to see what they tried to do.
It's going to be interesting to see whether or not Amazon decides to go, oh, fuck, you know, we better do this anyway. But I honestly wonder what would happen if they do actually bring out a new show. Because the last 2 seasons were cancelled at literally the worst moment. Well, Atlantis was basically shit canned when it should have kept going. And Universe was, well, it should have been one of those sideshows for like late night watching, not prime time, considering the dark sort of aesthetic to the show. But
Right, and you're talking about like the time slot that Stargate had.
Yep.
Yeah, for viewership, it really doesn't make sense to like us viewers or fans that genuinely did like the show, that they kept pushing it back to like later time slots. So of course, less people will be able to catch it. Let's say if they're like too tired from work or whatever it might be, not dedicated enough. It depends on. But the time slot change, that definitely has an effect.
Well, no, it's more the way the show, the way Universe came out. It was a lot darker than the previous two series. In Australia,
right. Well, and
the time slot didn't change, so it was always still at the same time.
Right. Well, there's that, and the writing.
It's really fascinating how many shows get cancelled because of studios, stupid ideals. Firefly is an excellent example of a show that got shit canned early on just because they didn't air it properly. I mean, seriously, what the hell?
That's the perfect, bro. That is the perfect example of how a well-beloved show that had so much potential really got sidelined by corporate bureaucratic nonsense. Yeah,
if you want to have one of those,
I love Firefly.
If one of those stupid fucking idiots want to start mouthing off about women not being blah blah blah, yeah, go watch fucking Firefly, and then you tell me if women don't get good representation. I'm sorry, but having a silent bloody lethal assassin floating around the ship's probably going to be a little bit more interesting.
No, when they get into those gender things or the race or the sexual things, that's where I kind of have to disconnect, because the show itself was really good. It had good writing, great characters, and I never saw it as something that was supposed to be promoting some kind of alternate radical political message. That's not what it was for. It was just good writing that people liked.
Yeah, Avira, anyone who mouths off like that should really go and watch the first couple of episodes of SG1, because you might find the 90s were a little bit more friendly towards women in general compared to how you think. I mean, fuck's sake.
Exactly. Yeah. It's crazy how people's mentality has been brainwashed to change, despite the fact you could just watch it and understand something totally different.
And if you want to see Jason Momoa before he became a movie star, Atlantis is probably the show for you to watch.
Yeah, right on.
Right. So, anything else to add, or is this a time to wrap this up?
I think it's time to wrap it up.
All right.
Yeah, so, I think we pretty much said everything that needed to be said about this week, as bonkers as it was.
Yeah. Yay! Whatever you want to say to it. But yeah, so who'd like to quickly wrap up with a closing statement?
Avira.
Well, there's a lot of stuff, I suppose. One thing I don't want to say that indie game or game-based movies, all of that kind of stuff is completely cut out forever. Yes, there is a lot of pushback when it comes to like corporatism and crap like that, to try to like not make this mainstream. But there's been a lot of indie games and series that have really gained a lot of popularity, and we should really give it some credit. Let's see. I think that I'm really looking forward to Spyro the Dragon. Let's be real. Like, Spyro the Dragon is like a 90s classic. They've tried to do some reboots before, some weird, awkward crap with like Skylanders and make him look ugly and terrible. I don't want to get into that. But I will say, seeing some new Spyro content that seems to be like made by genuinely people that liked or were fans of the original series, that does kind of give me hope. So, if I get to play around as Spyro being able to fly, I might not see it as more of like the traditional platforming game that it used to be, but more of like an exploratory world where I get to fly around as Spyro the Dragon. I think that would be really, really cool if that's the direction that they're going for. The trailer didn't give us too much on what the gameplay was really going to be like. They kind of just like gave us a hint. But if that's how it's going to be, I think that'd be really cool. Let's see. When it came to, I don't know, my flowers, I hope that they're still surviving. I'll continue to keep you updated on if they survive or not. But otherwise, it was super fun to have a show, and I guess I'll see you guys next week. I'm not leaving just yet, but that was my last statement. Yeah. Noble?
Well, I have to admit, the family and faith thing I wanted to hear more about, but unfortunately I had to be a little bit of a troll.
That would be a troll.
Spyro, definitely worthwhile. It'd be interesting to see, and I hope I can actually play it on Linux later on. I just kind of wish there was more furry stuff we could have spoken about. Maybe a FurCon where someone did something really fucking ridiculous. But
I guess we'll just have to wait for
that's
FurCon.
probably a common thing.
As it stands now, I don't know about June, but I think given enough time, in July, FurCon coming up, yeah, I bet you can bet that something's going to happen.
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't involve fecal matter like the last couple of ones, because
I mean, in the absolute state Furry is in, though, I wouldn't get my hopes up too high.
It's just disgusting.
Anywho.
Oh, well, let's see what stupid thing they do this time.
Yep.
Okay.
So, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that as much as we did making it. As always, you can find our episodes on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Player.fm, Heart Radio, BitChute, and more. And that's all we've got for you for the week. Farewell, and until next time.
Bye.
Goodbye. Have a good weekend.
Armstrong.